Good morning, and here we are at TAPP Talk Live, and we are live Monday to Friday at 10 o'clock. And today, being a Saturday, we are live because it's European Sustainable Development Week. And so we're doing some extra shows on Saturday and Sunday. If you're watching us live, you can put some comments and questions in Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And if you're watching the recording, you can do the same, and we'll be able to pass those details on to our guest today, who is Adriana Frank from FrankWrap. Morning, Adriana.
Good morning, Phil.
How are you this morning?
Good morning. Very good. Very good.
Good stuff.
Going to some exercise just after a meeting. Beautiful day in Malta.
It's a lovely day. Yes, I'm going out in the garden to plant some more vegetables. And we're talking about beating food waste today. Yes. So let's get into it then. So what is the problem with food waste in Malta then?
The food waste problem is not only in Malta, it's a global issue. We have seen that we produce not enough locally, not everything, but more than 90% of what we have in Malta, it's imported. So fruits and vegetables, they are traveling long distance around the world in boats, and they kept stored for many months. In refrigerators. I was just seeing and on French TV 2 days ago that the costs are really increasing because of the bill to keep the fruits cold. So it's a big problem. And in Malta, we know we are losing land. The farmers are fighting to keep their land and producing organic. So it's a big thing happening. It's worrying.
So is the fact that a lot of the food is transported, is that why it seems to go off so quickly in the fridge, for instance?
Look, I think so. My own experience, for example, with avocado. Okay, I just bought 3 avocados last week, and €150 each, to give you a precise scenario. All are bad. All the 3.
Just within a few days.
Yes. So I am convinced this is the transport, because it didn't leave the country where it was produced. That was probably Spain or Latin America, which is really bad. And totally wasted. And it happens with other fruits as well.
Right. So by the time you get it into your fridge, it could be months old already, for instance.
It could be, yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Apples, I know apples and pears, they stay months in the fridge. Yes. In huge rooms that are fridges in these storages. Yes. And you have a few producers nowadays that are investing solar panels, which is very interesting. So you produce the energy and then you already use this energy at the same place to keep it cold. So, but many don't have this infrastructure. Many farmers don't have it.
So it's certainly very wasteful if we buy the food first and then it goes off in the fridge before we even get a chance to eat it, I guess.
Yes.
We wasted all of that energy in trying to keep it fresh.
Yes.
That we pay for and that causes CO2 emissions, and then it just goes off and we put it in the organic waste. So how can we make our food, I nearly said our waste then, but I didn't mean, how can we make our food last longer then?
Well, ideally we can buy local. It helps a lot because it was harvested not many days ago. So it was usually in Malta, when you go to these farmers, you can buy really fresh. It is harvested that day or that morning, and sometimes in front of you. And another way is to store it better. So you have the option to use a wrap that is made of beeswax, that's antibacterial, right? This is not rocket science. We all know that beeswax is antibacterial, is already used in fruits and vegetables, in cheese, and I can show you. So you have a beeswax wrap that's made of cotton.
So this is the FrankWrap.
This is a FrankWrap, yes. This is made by me, yes.
Okay. And it's you were saying the beeswax on,
yes.
It's cotton and?
It's cotton, beeswax, pine resin that also has antibacterial properties, and jojoba oil. So I can show you how
Uh-huh.
it works. So this is mandarin. Of course, you don't wrap the mandarin. It's just to show you how it works for the format. And it keeps your food fresh for longer because it works as a natural skin that has antibacterial properties. So you can put it in the fridge. You can leave it outside as well. And I use it constantly for broccoli, for example, for carrots, for half an avocado that is good.
Uh-huh.
Not when you buy it already destroyed, but when it's good, it lasts longer, that half. And half an onion, half a lemon, melon, watermelon, bread. Yeah, you can cover a bowl, of course, with this. So it
Uh-huh.
really improves the shelf life of fruits, vegetables, baked goods. It
I
really
think what
helps.
surprised me when I first started using them, which is like a couple of years ago now, I think nearly 18 months ago, something like that, I was actually really surprised because I think the first thing I used was a cucumber. I put it over a cucumber, right, over the end, because normally that's the bit that goes a bit manky after like a few days in the fridge because I'm not putting it in anything else. And it was brilliant. And I was like I was actually really surprised. Well, that's a bit
Yes.
odd. It actually works.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, like, because of the flexibility, the same wrap that I put over the cucumber, you know, after I've washed it, it's on a bowl and then it gets on something else. And I realized also that I had a packet and I've got lots of different sizes in there. And actually, I didn't realize that because I just used the one for lots of different things. And then I suddenly realized there's lots of different sizes. So even small things, just like a tomato, for instance.
Yes. Yes.
And it really does stay amazingly much more fresh and smells good.
Yes.
So I was really surprised that it
That's
works
what
so well.
yeah,
It
I
makes a
tell
big
my
difference.
clients, because sometimes you have clients and I mean individuals that come to talk to me that are not clients yet, that are a bit skeptical, like it really works, Adriana. This is real, and I really like to reinforce. Look, I'm not greenwashing you. This is real. It works. It's fantastic. I know the idea is really good. It's simple, but it works. We are using natural products only because when you understand what they are, pine resin, it comes from the trunk of the tree to protect the tree when it's hurt, when it's damaged. So the tree creates this resin for protection and is antifungal as well. And this is real.
So that's the pine resin that's in the wrap at the same time. And you make these, right?
I make them, yes. So
Every
I
single one is handmade
every single
by
one
you.
is made. Yes. I cut
Right.
the fabric, then I melt the beeswax, the pine resin, and the jojoba oil. And so that's my recipe. And once everything is melted, then I'm gonna paint the fabric with this mixture. And then you have a wrap and then it's ready. And the fabric is not any fabric. It's 100% cotton, certified Ecotex, to be technical. It means that this fabric was tested and doesn't have harmful chemicals. Otherwise, it
Okay.
wouldn't make any sense to use chemicals to touch food, right? And in the end of its life, the wrap can be composted at home. So this fabric that goes into the soil, into earth again, and doesn't damage the soil or the environment in any way. That's
So
my
I
effort.
didn't know that. So you can compost them at home once
Yes,
you've used them. Although I
yes,
have to say, I've been using mine for at least 18 months, and they're very durable. They last a long time.
they are. They last 1 year with proper care. The usability is around 1 year.
Well,
Yes.
obviously, I'm very naughty because I've been using mine for at least 18 months, and it's still being used, and it's doing a grand job, to be honest. So I really must get some more then, that means. So,
And then in the end, when it's not that sticky anymore, that's how you notice it's not that sticky anymore.
just when it's tacky.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So this is an
Okay.
old one, huh? This one here. This is an old. And
So there's different patterns as well. That's the other thing I think, if I remember. There's different patterns, isn't there? So
yes,
different
yes,
fabrics.
yes. I have many clients that like to make collections. They like the new version because you
Okay.
have two options. You can rewax it. You don't need it to throw away. You don't need. You can melt. I also sell this recipe into bars. So at home, you can melt this bar and you can rewax it. And
No,
or
I didn't know that. So,
it is.
so once I've used the wrap for too long, like I have, I could buy the bar off you, and then I just like melt it in a pan
Yes.
on the stove, and then coat it again.
Yes. It's very simple. It's just
And
that.
you supply those kits as well.
Yes. Exactly.
So
I
so
also
do you
do the
supply
whole.
kits? You do the kits for the whole thing. I was going to ask you
Yes.
that.
Yes. Yeah. I
Wow.
invented
Okay.
this to create an activity for children.
Okay.
First for children, but I also noticed that adults like very much. So they want an entry price to have the wrap. They wanted to make it themselves. They wanted to have this experience, really understanding the process. And they also show it to their children. So it's an opportunity to talk about plastic, to talk about natural products, and because we cannot treat it the wrap as we treat plastic. This is a valuable product made of prime raw materials, correct? So when you understand how it's made, you will really say, oh, I'm going to take care of it. I'm really going to I really have something that is durable, it's usable, and made of prime natural ingredients, just the best ingredients. And they are expensive. Beeswax is very, very expensive.
It's interesting because it sounds though in that whole process, like you're connecting yourself to the food and the food chain in a special way as well, because you put more effort into it. So I've always found if I put more effort into it, like you were talking about going sporting, for some sports afterwards, I'm going in the garden to plant some more veggies, and that kind of gets me connected with the earth, the soil, and everything like that. And I found that it's really been very good for me. So I hadn't realized that with your product, if you take the care of redoing it, which I love that idea. I'm going to have to buy some bars now so I can keep the fabric. Then you're really connecting with the whole process and the food and the storage and the making of the food, and getting the kids involved as well at an early stage would probably be really advantageous, wouldn't it?
Yes, yes. We really get more emotional. I think we have more respect for the food and for for objects that we put time into it, right? You you give love and your time to your garden, and you understand how it's hard to do it, and how long it takes to grow fruits and vegetables. And imagine if you would have your garden wasted into a truck.
Right,
It's not like that. Things are not like that. They
right.
shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. People should understand that we cannot waste. We can't waste food.
So it's a lot. It sounds like a totally different process than taking the 4 apples out of the plastic wrapped container, chopping them up, removing most of the bits, and throwing it in the black bag, and then sort of eating them or whatever. It's a totally different sort of kind of connecting process that you're suggesting, which probably means that you end up wasting less food as well, because you connect with the whole process a bit better and maybe use the food a bit better. So how about in businesses? Do you have businesses that use this as well as, or offices, or can you use it at work or anything like that?
Yes, we have a few retailers, and now because primary the wrap it's the primary market of the wrap are households, is for domestic use for
Right.
families, you and me and
The same
families.
as us, yeah.
Yes, but now I am going further, and I have a hotel in Islema here in Malta, trying them and to see how they can incorporate it in their kitchen and in their breakfast buffet. And it their feedback is really positive. So they told me that they are liking it. the clients are liking it. So people are curious, oh, what is this? And so they explain, they show the effort that they are making, because reducing plastic, not only food waste, but reducing plastic in general, it's about putting an effort into understand what can be done. So
Yes.
our aim, right, is to show people that, look, you have an option that is easy, it's not expensive, it's durable, it's not a pain. Quite the contrary, we are helping you to solve your pain. So you wanted to reduce plastic in a simple way, we can do it for you. We can help you to do that. And because we have different clients that have different interests. Some are really into the eco-friendly aspect of the product. They wanted to understand that. Others no. Other they are more worried about the cost benefit. Oh, I just don't want to put so much money into something eco-friendly. I want it to work and I want it simple. So we give these answers to the domestic clients and also to private companies as well.
But also, there's probably an opportunity to save money with FrankWrap at some stage, although this is the initial investment. You're not buying the plastic containers, which eventually smell and get thrown away, or they do in my experience, or the plastic bags, or the sandwich bags, and so in fact, sandwich bags. That's interesting. We're just coming up to school season now. Could you wrap your child's food
Of course.
in this before you send them to school?
Yes, you can wrap a sandwich. You can wrap fruits and snacks like biscuits, for example. I am planning to create a bag now. So I wanted to really have a bag. And it will be even easier because we can already have a bag with the wrap. If we
Yes, you just fold.
Yes, but I'd like to have it even more consistent. So to avoid this extra time of folding it, I wanted to offer it already made. And of course, this is very small, but you can use it as a sachet and it's very handy. It's really good.
Yeah, and that's because it's got form to it, hasn't it? It's
Exactly.
like, which I love about that when you're putting it on a container.
Look how sticky it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I really appreciated that about the whole thing, because what was amazing when you wrap it around a piece of fruit or, as I say, carrot, cucumber, whatever, it's holding it, which I think is something really to appreciate about the product.
And
which
it's
is great.
waterproof. So you can put in the fridge and it's fine. It's waterproof because the beeswax and the pine resin really coats the fabric. And then if you wash, when you wash it, you see the drops and it's not soaked into water. Right? It is waterproof and breathable at the same time. It really works like the skin of a fruit.
Like the skin of the fruit. Yeah. Yeah. And what's interesting is that your product is actually, not only is it sustainable, but it's also part of the circular economy, because you can keep it going just by topping up the wax, which I didn't know. So I've learned something about your product, even though I've had it for like 18 months. I've now learned something from that.
And you can even, for example, you can use, if any individual has cotton fabric at home, for example, the pillowcase, it's cotton fabric, usually 100% cotton fabric. You can make your own wrap at home. You only buy the wax, the mixture, right? The mixture. So you can create it on your own as well. There is also.
But you also sell the kits, don't you? So you sell the kits, you sell the wrap, you sell these like top up or the refurbishment of the wrap.
Exactly.
And it's amazing, all of
Yes.
that. All produced by you.
The idea is to reduce plastic and food consumption. So we have to be creative to help people, because you have different people with different needs and different interests as well. Many say, no, I don't want to do it. No, I don't want wax under my nails. Because it happens.
Sure, well then they can just buy it, right? And so for people who want to find out more, you can find out more on your website, which is frankwrap.com. And there's probably also a list of the retailers there that you can get it from, but you can also buy it direct. Yes. So the question I've asked sort of virtually all the guests that have come on is like, what's the future for your product now. I'm not too sure how many years you've been going. It's probably, what, 2.5 years or something, is it?
Yes.
Or is it more? 2.5 years, right? Okay. So it's about like us, we're like two and a bit.
Yes.
What do you see as the sort of the next stages for you
Well, the next stage
with
now
FrankWrap?
is to create means to customize wraps. I have received requests. I have individuals and companies that wanted to have their brand on the wrap.
Oh, how lovely.
Yes. So I am investing time in really creating how am I going to do that, because we have to keep the same cost. We cannot create a product that is expensive. I am against it. I don't want it to be chic. I want it to be accessible. Right. So I want to
Practical, right.
customize the wraps, maintaining the good price and quality as well. And diversification with other products, like I mentioned, the bag. So that's the aim. The future is a bag and customization. That's what I wanted to do.
Because you do these wonderful candles as well, don't you?
I do.
Yes. So you have some other products as well,
Yes.
whilst you've got the beeswax there as well.
Yes.
So for your future, customization and some new products in the food beating food waste market, as it were.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
And contacting different businesses as well for them to try, restaurants. Yes. We don't have any problem with legislation, but we don't have anything clearly written that they can use it. And you also don't have anything written that they cannot use it. So I have to really understand the legislation and see how it goes. But the raw materials, they are all approved. This I'm sure. By
Fascinating.
legislation, yes.
Oh, well, that's really great. I have learned some more about a product that I already use and think it's great. So, yeah, I'm really glad we had this conversation. Hopefully, if you're watching the recording, if you've got any questions, you can contact Adriana at FrankWrap.com, or just put comments in the underneath the video, and we'll see that and respond to you. And so this is I think we've got 2 more conversations with some more stories during the next couple of days, Sunday and Monday. And I'd like to thank Adriana for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a great pleasure to talk about this product because it's great. And I'll just play out with a little bit of music. And thank you, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.